Today we're working on section 5.2, exponential functions. You'll see some examples of the graphs and the definition in the notes that I've provided on Canvas. We're just going to work with some compound interest problems in this section. Okay, so compound interest, here's the formula right here. We've got A equals P times the quantity 1 plus R divided by N, and then all of that to the NT power. Well, let's talk about what each of these mean. Okay, so the A here is the ending amount. The P is the beginning amount. The R is the rate, and you want to make sure you put the R into the formula as a decimal. The N is how many times per year it's compounded. That's the same N. And then the T is the time. Make sure it's in years when you plug it into the formula. So we're just going to try a couple of them out. Use the compound interest formula to determine the final value of each amount. Okay, well, we're finding the final value. So we're going to be finding the A in our problem. So we should be able to find everything else given to us in the problem. Part A, it says $2,000 at 10% compounded quarterly for 8 years. Okay, well, I've got the formula written here for us. We can go ahead and just start filling it out. So we know that we're looking for the A. So A stays the way it is. P is the beginning amount. Well, that's the 2,000. R is the rate, 10%, but we need to make sure we write it as a decimal. You can either divide it by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay, so that gives me 0.10 or just 0.1. The N, okay, well, that's how many times it's compounded per year. It says quarterly. Well, that means it's 4 times per year. So we'll put a 4 in for the N. And then the T is 8 years. Okay, so at this point, you can just plug it into your calculator. And what I like to do is I like to put the parentheses completely around the exponent here, and then just put a times symbol in between, because that's going to work better on your calculator. Of course, we know what 4 times 8 is, but in case it were bigger numbers, I'm going to just show you how to just put it in your calculator. Okay, and then also right here, I'm going to put extra parentheses around this division because we want to make sure the calculator divides this before it adds the 1 and then finishes up the problem. So let me show you how I would put it in my calculator. And I know we all have different calculators, so try it in your calculator. If you don't get the right answer, feel free to, email me, or if you can, talk to me in class about it. Okay, so I'm just going to start punching it in. I've got 2,000, and then I've got parentheses, 1 plus parentheses 0.1 divided by 4, and I've got to close 2 sets of parentheses. And then remember, to take it to a power, that's this caret button over here. And then I'm going to put parentheses 4 times 8, close my parentheses. That way make sure that you can see what I've got in the screen here. That way it raises it to this whole power. Okay, so you want to make sure that you put your exponent in parentheses to make sure it does that whole expression and then takes it to that power. Okay, and then we'll just press enter. And it gives us 4,407.51, and I'm just going to round it to just 2 decimal places because we're talking about money. So I've got 4,407.51 for my answer. Okay, let's try another one. Part B, it says $5,000 at 6% compounded annually for 7 years. Okay, again, I wrote down the formula for us. We're still looking for the ending amount, so we're looking for A. Let's fill in all of our variables. So the beginning amount, 5,000. The R, 6%. Divide it by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the left. So it'll be 0.06 over. It's compounded annually this time. That means once per year. So 1 times, it was 7 years. Okay, well obviously with the ones in here, this one's easier to simplify. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify it this time before I put it in the calculator. So we've got 5,000 times 1.06, all of that to the 7th power. All right, so we'll go ahead and plug it in. We've got 5,000 parentheses 1.06 parentheses caret 7. Enter. Okay, and that gave me 7,518.15. So make sure to read the full notes on Canvas, try out the homework, and let me know if you have any questions.